Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Amish Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, Steve, On the Level, Thomas van der Zander, Gary Hughes, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, No Smart Comments, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Twad Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, J Melds 24, Yu Memento, M Iron 26, Endless, Golden McKinnon, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Mel B, Styles, Harry Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Dale West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Yun Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in the Politics Discord server and G+, so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
It would have been forced into the mind at such a young age, formed a fundamental, like a fundamental aspect of their worldview of who and what they are on a fundamental level, and you'll never be able to convince them, never ever ever be able to convince them that men cannot get pregnant. You will not. It's they got too young, and it's just over now. So yeah, I think if people who can homeschool, which is a difficult thing, like not everyone can homeschool, it's a big commitment because obviously bread costs money, right? So it's not always the easiest thing. But I think people who are in a position to be able to homeschool, provided they're not some kind of loon, and they themselves have a level of education, yeah,
Right.
I think it's I think it's the way.
I agree
Absolutely.
1000%.
Like I told her before she started kindergarten, I said, look, they're going to teach you some things that I personally don't think is true. And she's like what? So I showed her the globe and I was like, they're going to teach you that we live on a big ball floating around in space. And I was like, I don't believe that's what it is because people are able to test it and find different results. I'm going to leave it up to her to make her own decision. But I said, don't argue with your teacher about it. If you have questions, just come home and talk to me and I'll show you what I've learned and you can believe it or not, but there's no use in like sitting in the middle of class and arguing with everybody about it. So just go along with it for whatever it's worth. And she's like, okay, but she believes, I mean, she thinks 100% that we do not live on a ball. She says the stars are her angels that watch over her and we're stuck here in God's little snowball.
Yeah, that's partly true. We're stuck here until we learn what we came here to learn, and we'll
Yeah.
resit this class as many times as we need to.
Yep.
Welcome, Nathan.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you.
Not the first time I've heard that said raised by goats. We'll resit this class as many times as we need to.
Just my hunch. No way of proving it, but a feeling I've got.
Maybe.
There's one thing we can be sure it's not, though. A giant spinning ball.
Are we broadcast on YouTube?
We will be in about half an hour. Please don't swear.
Okay.
Hey, Neil.
You've done pretty good so far. Just
not to swear when Nathan's here or when the show starts.
No, we're making a conscious effort not to use that type of language anymore.
I must admit, I do find the irony quite amusing because, like, I'm normally kind of working from home when this show happens, just busting out some quotes, doing some admin, got it on in the background, and it starts with "Please do not swear," but then an hour later, it's just war. It is absolute war.
Well,
That'll
it
probably
depends,
be like
depends
after
on who comes in.
Well, just so you know, earlier on, one guy said, I sound like I'm fat. And then another guy said I was an effing idiot because I brought up the Earth curve calculator. So maybe they'll join back in.
He's right there. You do sound fat.
Fat as hell.
Do I sound old? Apparently I sounded old. I was just an over 40 unachiever.
Fat ass. You were over 40 fat ass, remember?
That's right. Over 40 fat ass. That was it.
The youth of today, man, to think old is an insult. Like, getting old is a privilege. Not everybody gets to grow old. You know, it's a privilege to get older. Hope to
Yeah.
make it myself one day.
No, it's
I
not.
think about
It's
that a lot.
on turf.
Like a lot of friends I had that were maybe a few years older than me that have passed away over the years. I think, man, I'm so much older than they ever got to be. They didn't get to experience a lot of things. So yeah,
Amen, brother. Getting old is a privilege, not an
it really
insult.
is.
It's not a bad thing.
Well, I'm over 40 and a fat ass, so I'm with you, AJ.
There was a song by the Moody Blues in the 80s called 22,000 Days and the average lifespan of a man. That don't sound like a lot. Like, how many summers do you have left?
Yeah, if you look at it by summers, I heard somebody say that before. Like if you live to 75, which is a good life, you only see 75 summers. That's not that many when you really think about it.
Yeah, which only gives me 15 more.
Anyway,
That face you make when go and touch grass becomes less of an insult and more like really solid life advice.
How old are some of you guys? I'm 42.
Depends on what
Not too
Super
far
Bowl
behind
it
you.
is.
I'm the same age as Nathan.
you're born in
31.
1980, yeah?
1990.
1980.
They
Good
just the
old
same
days.
age as my wife.
And my kids asked me what it was like in the olden days.
Nathan Oakley beats his children.
I do not.
That's what you're supposed to do when they act up.
Said that.
Who the hell said that?
Let's not.
I think it was his son. He, for some strange reason, has an American accent. When Nathan doesn't.
American accent. We speak English. You got the accent.
Well, we both speak English. That's quite right. But yeah,
You
you've got an
speak
American
English,
accent.
English.
I've got an English accent.
A globe believer in pain, claiming I beat my kids.
Yeah, he left straight away.
I beat my kids too every day when I play them in sports.
I don't know what that means.
You have to let them win
That's like-
sometimes.
Oh, as in you beat them in a game?
Yeah, of course.
You're just dunking all over them, Radwin.
Yeah, just like playing basketball with his kids, like, nice try, Jimmy.
Well, their grandkids are 5 years old. I play basketball outside with them. I knock them down, throw them through the hoop, the whole 9 yards.
The thing is that the visual of it, if you take it to the extreme, you can make it quite funny in your head. When in reality, like a bit of rough and tumble play isn't a bad thing. I think too many kids these days with the whole everyone gets a balloon. Non-contact sports that are actually contact sports, and then they get to high school, and then they just cannot cope whatsoever with the absolute jungle that is the average public school playground.
They're twins, so they beat themselves up.
Fair.
I just have this visual of him like hanging from the rim, and his legs are like dangling, and he's like yelling, and like he's accidentally like kicking the kids over, like get you some of that.
Accidentally, yeah.
Honestly, I've never had to spank my child. She's never really acted up bad enough that I've had to think
I
about it.
haven't hit my kids one time.
Well, Radwin, I like your profile picture, man. You look pretty wise in that picture.
Very wise. Get my hair out.
I just noticed that.
Now I got to flip it. How many of you guys got hit when you were kids? I caught beatings.
Oh god, I got absolutely belted, like absolutely, and to the extreme. To be fair, maybe a bit past what was.
Going to
But
get
tell
the
you what,
Hoover pipe.
but I tell you what, like you learned kind of authority, respect. You learned that you don't run your mouth if you're not in a position to kind of back up them checks your mouth be writing. And I'm not saying everyone should go out there and start leathering the kids or anything, but I do think it's maybe too far the opposite extreme now.
What was your parents' weapon of choice?
That was
Oh,
the
it was
steel
the
vacuum cleaner pipe.
My father was the belt and his hand.
yeah, it was a
The bar
traditional
of
man.
soap.
Just just
Wooden
couple,
spoon.
You got soap. You
couple,
like
couple of
swearing,
I
did
got
you?
the wooden spoon.
couple of pool balls in a sock. Nothing fancy.
My grandmother
I'm
threatened me with that
joking.
once. Did anybody catch that? Someone said it's the soap. I assume you got the soap in the mouth for swearing, right?
Correct.
Absolutely. Washing it liquid in your mouth, fairy liquid.
I never
I've
had
eaten
that,
bottles
but
of that stuff.
my grandmother threatened to do that to me, and I couldn't freaking believe it. When she threatened me with it, I'm like, "You're gonna do what?"
Yeah, they used
Yeah, I
to
wasn't
say,
just
"I'm going to
threatened with
wash
it.
your mouth out with soap."
Yep.
I got soap in the mouth.
I got a
It doesn't taste great.
Sicilian mother, and she had me pinned down one time with a wooden spoon underneath the swing set, and it broke. And she said, "Don't you move. I'm going to go get another one." And I laid there for felt like it forever. And she come back with a second wooden spoon, and she kept getting me.
No, I would block them, and my mother would get mad for blocking because I was blocking them. What do you want me to do? Just put my hands down? I got to block them.
Yeah.
That used to be in school too, yeah. I got the cane a few times in school.
They still
Grade
paddle.
7,
They
grade
still
8.
paddle in school here. Like
Stand
when
in front of the class and put your hand out and get a whipping.
Yeah, here in Tennessee, whenever your kid goes to school, there's like a piece of paper you sign that says the teacher can paddle them or not, and they got like a big wedge-shaped paddle, and they'll take you out the door, but they'll stand you right at the door where everybody can see you, and they'll get you about 3 times.
They got me with that at the Heart Attack Grill in Vegas when I didn't finish my burger, actually.
You know, it's
See,
gone a
that's where
bit
I
far
draw the
when I see the
line.
missus with a rolling pin and I don't know how to react.
Did you say roll a pinner?
Rolling pin.
Oh.
That would
And for
hurt.
those that don't know what I'm talking about, there's a burger shop in Vegas, and if you don't finish your burger, they make you bend over and hold onto this rack, and the waitresses paddle your ass. And they don't hold back either. They give you a good smack.
Are they good looking?
I was going to say, like, oh no, I couldn't finish my burger. Oh, you have to get the paddle.
It's like, oh, he's back again for another burger. He never eats them. He just comes in here and orders them, and then
You pick a sesame seed off the top, then just wait.
How are you going to turn this into flat Earth, Nathan?
I don't know. I'm looking for that segue, Neil. When it comes, I'll take the opportunity immediately.
Paddles are flat.
Well, I flew to the US from Australia, and it all appeared pretty flat to me.
Because it is.
Did the plane have to go inverted as it traveled around the ball?
Well, no, Mr. Sensible sorted this out because he took pictures from outside an airplane window and showed a curvature, so it settled.
We dealt with
From
that in
outside the
2020.
window.
Black Swan. We debunked the horizon as being Earth curve. Further to that, when it comes to planes, we've got pitch data now. Bosh, pitch data. There you go. Earth's flat.
Exactly. It's been over for a while, but now with that pitch data, now they're pinned. 1, 2, 3. Game, set, match.
Somebody give me the short version. I'm not familiar.
Pitch
What's
data
the pitch
just
data
shows on a
argument?
graph how the plane's nose is with respect to horizontal for the duration of a flight. And Brian's logic was trying to get hold of it for years. And he'd have Wolfie under the pilots telling him, no, you can't have that. It costs you hundreds of thousands to acquire that data. And then Brian was given it by somebody who knew that you could acquire it through the NTSB. So they gave him pitch data for a flight.
You look like a ball with legs.
Again?
Let him finish.
Again, whoever that was?
Yeah, no, that was it. That was the whole thing. You look like a meatball with legs.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Guys,
I look like a meatball with legs. Oh, thanks.
You look like your server muted.
And that's what I was going to say after somebody brought up the pitch data. That's all they have left. These type of tactics. That's all they have left. That's it. Nothing.
Yeah,
No
I
arguments.
wanted Nathan to finish that.
Well, that is it, really. I mean, that's it. It shows Earth's flat. It's showing the nose up with respect to horizontal a couple of degrees for a couple of hours, which is all you really need. You know, they're flying above a flat Earth. There's no curve involved. It's with respect to horizontal. It's an angle. It's everything you could ever want out of a flat Earth proof. With NTSB, people are dealing with life and death scenarios. About as official as it gets. Flat Earth proof.
You're talking about like when you're flying, like how they have to keep pushing the nose of the airplane down to keep the same altitude.
No, they push the nose of the plane up with respect to horizontal for the entirety of the flight.
Right, but like I think that argument, I think it can't be used because it would work on both models. And the reason I say that is,
It's not an argument.
Let's just
So,
say,
yeah, let's just correct that. It's not an argument. I suggest this data works on a flat. It is flat Earth data. There is no globe data in the pitch data. Pitch data doesn't work on a globe. You saying it works on both models? It's a graph showing what the plane did in reality. What it did was fly over a flat Earth. There's no globe data in there. What do you mean it works with your argument? You can't have pitch data on a globe.
well, hear me out. So let's say hypothetically it is a ball. Okay.
No, let's not. No, let's not. We've got pitch data that shows it isn't a ball because the plane flies over a flat plane. Excuse me, sir.
To my point?
You can ask me to beg your religious belief of a ball alongside you, but I'm telling you no. Don't force your religion on me. Listen up closely. The graphs that are called pitch data don't work on a ball. There is no ball involved. It shows their nose up with respect to horizontal for the duration of their flight time. It's not working on a ball. There's no ball involved. Now, would you, before you ask me to beg your indulgence and beg the question of being on a ball with you, can you just acknowledge this pitch data, presumably something you've never
I don't believe it's a ball.
Something you've never even clapped eyes on?
Did you hear me say that I believe the Earth is round? I said hypothetically.
Why are you bringing
let's
it up?
imagine that
I don't give a crap what you believe, sir. I know it's flat. That's how it's measured. I've got pitch data that proves that. Your belief is inconsequential to me. Bugger off to some religious forum where you can exercise your belief. That's not this place. We don't care what your belief is.
Who the fuck are you, dude? This is for conversation. I don't believe in shit. I'm just telling you.
You just told me you believed in a ball. You don't lie. Literally 10 seconds ago, you told me you believe in a ball. 10 seconds ago.
To show you how the data would work, if you had a central point of a ball with a string.
There isn't one in pitch data. Are you deaf? There's no ball in pitch data.
You can't hear the rest of what I'm saying, so how are you ever going to know?
Acknowledge what I said. Something you've never even looked at. Have you ever even looked at pitch data? Official NTSB pitch data? Oh, really? Show me the ball in it.
Well, if I could talk, I could
show me the ball in the pitch data you say you've seen. Where is it?
Well, you let me know when you're ready to listen.
I'm not ready to listen to a ball-believing numpty who's about to tell me about his begging the question of being on a ball alongside him and then chant through me. What you're now doing is talking through me. Yeah, when I'm ready. No, I'll never be ready to beg your belief with you. That's not what I'm here for. I'm telling you what pitch data is. It shows Earth is flat. That's what pitch data is. When I ask you to show me your ball on it, you start yammering through the top of me like you're in charge of this discussion. You're not. I'm telling you.
You sound like my ex-wife.
Right, why is this guy telling me I sound like somebody else while I'm telling him Earth's measured flat in pitch data?
Your ex-wife sounds like that? Damn.
Yeah, just...
And meanwhile, we measure Earth flat with pitch data, and I'm being told I sound like someone's ex-wife rather than getting an acknowledgement of the facts of the matter with pitch data. There's no ball involved. No, I won't beg your question of being on a ball with you. No, I won't fantasize about being on a ball with you. That's what you're asking, and I'm saying no. What I'm telling you is Earth's measured flat, and pitch data proves it. No ball involved. You want to tell me I sound like your ex-wife again?
All right, guys, just so you know, Nathan is here to run a show. So Nathan runs his Flat Earth debate from in here. I don't want to have to mute anybody, but yeah.
But chat shit straight through the top of me and you will be instantly taken charge of by one of the moderators at my behest. So you will listen to me. Earth's measured flat with pitch data, and when I ask you, a liar, who said, yeah, I've seen pitch data. No, you haven't. I know you're a liar. Yeah? So, liar, Earth's measured flat in pitch data. I'd like a response to that which I've told you. I'm not asking you or debating anything. Telling you. No? All right, I thought we were just having a conversation. Well, we weren't. I was telling you how Earth's measured. It's flat. I can prove it with pitch data and how flights behave above a flat ground.
For anyone who wants to see it, Adam has posted it at 43 minutes past the hour.
Now, the guy who was talking to me, it's been posted to you. Liar claimed he'd already seen it, went silent and told me I sound like his ex-wife when I asked him to show him the globe on it. This isn't a discussion, it's me telling you there is no globe on that data. It is a flat Earth fact. You want to ask me to beg the question of a ball that you believe in with you? No. Is that clear? We live on a flat Earth. All measurements of Earth are flat, without exception. Pitch data is no different to any other Earth-based measurement. They're all flat. But what we get from our opponents is told, well, if we just fantasize about being on a ball... Do I sound like your ex-wife now? No, I won't. No, it's measured. It's already been measured. It's flat. Things like pitch data prove that. Well, if we imagine how it would work on a ball... No, it won't. There's no ball involved. It's data. It's showing how the plane behaved over Earth. It's flat. They're dealing with life and death scenarios with air crash investigations. No, well, it should be having a ball in there, but it just isn't there because we kind of pretend it's a ball when it ain't. Yeah, that's the scenario. We pretend it's a ball when it isn't. It's measured flat. You want me to pretend it's a ball with you. Well, I won't do that. Well, if we just pretend we're on a ball, if we beg the question we're on a ball, if we say we're on a ball immediately... No, you can do that in some religious forum where I'm not. I go with the measurements of Earth. Thank you very much.
Can I say something real quick?
No,
The thing is,
no, Neil, no. No when it isn't your turn to talk. No when nobody addressed you. No when there should be a silence. Like every other time you decide that when I finish addressing somebody, you think it's your turn to talk, Neil. No. The guy I just berated for the last 5 minutes might want to pipe up, unless he's run away like a coward. We'll see. That's not you, Neil. Every bloody clip I get with someone else, I get Neil in the middle of my clip. Hello? Guy who told me pitch data had a globe in it. It was posted to you. Then you got berated by me. So just a dumbfounded silence then. Did he run away?
No, he's still in here. It's Techno Viking.
Techno Viking, you thought you were having a conversation with me. You weren't. I was telling you what's what. My name's Nathan Oakley. I'm a flat earther. I wasn't trying to have a discussion with you. I don't know you. I don't know who you are. Don't care either. I'm here to tell you Earth is flat and how it's measured that way. You want me to discuss how you believe it's a ball alongside you, and I'm not going to be doing that with you. Do you understand me, Tech Viking? No, just a total coward. Right? Only fun when you're telling me I sound like your ex-wife, right, Viking? Total coward.
Meatball with legs was pretty funny, though.
That was me thinking that Viking guy wanted a conversation. Right up until the point we had data that proved Earth was measured flat, that suddenly I'm sounding like his ex-wife, and he doesn't want to talk to me now.
I seriously just come back from taking a shit and you're still talking?
Yeah, I'm running a show here. No. Can you just put this guy on server mute?
Like
Sorry, no, guy. I was telling you off, but apparently you disappeared for a shit while I was telling you off. But this guy doesn't want to communicate with me. He wants to talk through me. And when he's getting
like
told off, he's not listening.
Wall.
Apparently he's taking a dump.
Your ears don't work.
So you haven't listened to a word I said. You were just taking a dump. Now I've got two choices.
Yeah.
Either tell you to be removed by one of the moderators because you're now yammering through the top of me consistently.
Because you don't know.
You can't respond to me if you just went for a dump. And I'm not going to open up my show. Can you server mute this guy, please? It seems like after buggering off or claiming, that's another lie, that he buggered off for a dump, he thinks what, having just literally stepped back to the mic, that he's going to get charged of this discussion. What an arrogant little prick. No, sir. You're expected to respond to me telling you off, proving Earth's flat with measurements, the ones you ignored and claimed I sounded like your ex-wife when they were brought up. No, you're not going to get charged and just start yammering randomly after coming back from a shit. No, Earth's measured flat. Now you've been taken charge of by one of the mods, something I told you would happen if you couldn't behave yourself. Yeah? I've told you Earth's flat. Now, just remove him from the server. What's the point of having him here? He's not going to answer me. When I tell him Earth's measured flat and you give him pitch data, you've been so kind as to post it to him, AJ. Has he acknowledged it? No, he's pissed right in our faces and told us I wasn't even listening to you, I was taking a shit. Now listen to me yammer about you, Adam. Just remove him from the server. It's not worth our time. This person doesn't have the intellectual wherewithals to be having any discussion with us. Yeah? Going to taking a shit, are you? Okay, bye-bye forever. That's the intellect that you guys can muster when we put flat Earth measurement to you. Pretend you weren't here and say you were taking a dump. That's your rebuttal. That's the standard. Earth's measured flat, what have you got in rebuttal? I was taking a shit. You sound like my ex-wife. That's your rebuttal, is it? Wow. Very telling. pathetic globe
I
believers.
do know that Tech is a flat earther. So I'm not quite sure why he's arguing about the pitch data, unless it's an argument that he's had put forward that he thinks may be relevant. I don't know.
That's what I was trying to say, Nathan.
What do you mean, what you were trying
Regardless,
to
the
say?
pitch data doesn't show a globe. So sorry.
The guy asked me how pitch data might work on a globe. So if you're saying he's a flatty, that makes no sense.
Yeah, I think that he was putting it forward that it's been put forward to him that it can work on both. I think that's what he was trying to do, but I do believe he's a flat earther, yeah?
That right, Flat Viking? Rather than looking at the pitch data and understanding the argument, someone else told you it could work on a globe and you believed them. Now you're telling that me?
Yep, he just left.
Shocking. No, it doesn't work on a globe. Pitch data can't work on a globe. Seemed to me like that guy was just here to chant through me highlighting that fact, because when it got to that fact, he started chanting that I sounded like his ex-wife. That's not a conciliatory, concerned flat earther who wants to make sure the argument's been steeled man correctly, is it? It's someone that wants to ad hom the shit out of me when I conclude how Earth's measured flat with pitch data. Something he said could work on a globe. I don't think he's a flatty. I think he's a liar.
A LARPer. He said models as well.
Yeah, LARPer.
If his ex-wife sounded like you, then she must be one of those modern women, you know, with a penis and that.
No, but that's what's happening. You got people coming in and tricking them with that nonsense. So you got to set them straight.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of this, especially coming from X, yeah? A lot of flat earthers that like to talk about models and other topics.
I don't think he is. The Vikings are our Vikings down there at the bottom of the list. I can see him. I don't think it is our Viking.
Yeah.
Someone LARPing, pretending to be someone and sounding like
Viking.
a different flatty.
He's been in here for a while tonight. He was in here about 4 hours ago, and I was listening, so... He was the one copping flack about being overweight off the Globers.
Okay. You sure that wasn't the other Viking, our Viking? He's at the bottom of the list there. Can you see him?
No, a different Viking.
Why is he telling me pitch data works on a globe? One of our housekeeping questions, you can't have pitch data. How do you have pitch data on a globe?
I think that the claim that I've heard once is that the plane remains nose up because it falls around the Earth the way that a satellite would orbit. And I think that's what he was trying to propose. Stays nose up, but falls around.
So it's nose up, falling around a sphere. Show us on the pitch data.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that because
that's where
we were having a conversation.
Go ahead.
And jokingly, he was talking about playing the part of a baller. So I'm not sure if he was doing that or if I'm not sure because he was talking about playing the part of a baller today for your show.
Okay, well, play a part of a baller, get treated like a baller. What do you want? You can't have pitch data on a globe.
Yeah, but
you're going to say it's falling around a globe. Okay, show me that on the pitch data. Where's that? Oh, it's not there? Yeah, it isn't, is it?
We can say he did a good job of acting like a baller because he spiraled and had a meltdown in the end.
I agree.
I think the LARPers do that. The people who want us to be rumpused think if I can get special treatment because people consider me a flat earther, and I say, hey, you know me, a flat earther, wouldn't it be cool if I pretended to be a complete scumbag, disingenuous liar and ruin the show for a bit? Just so that someone's got someone to bounce off, you know? I'm being good and all. Oh, really? No. What you actually are is an anti-flat earther who needs a bit more of an advantage. So if we think you're a flatty pretending to be a glober, you might, garner some advantage? Maybe. But you just sounded like a LARPer, as was immediately pointed out, right?
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day.
Of course. Hey, Flatsy. Every day's a good day on Flat Earth.
Indeed it is.
No, Jason, it's not. Learn when to talk.
I just get annoyed when I have to trim you out from every single clip. Oh, that was a good clip with an interesting person we've never discussed anything with. Oh, what do you know? Neil's in the middle of it, ruining it.
I'll try to refrain. I don't want to be that person.
And the beginning and the end.
Shut up.
So I shouldn't just come in and say ping pong golf ball.
That's entirely up to you.
Well, I just want to let Nathan know he said he was a flat earther, but Nathan's right. They come in as loppers and, just to get their rhetoric out.
I stopped listening to that about 5 years ago. When people come in and go, well, I'm a flat earther. I don't give a crap what you are. Sometimes I find it embarrassing to ascribe myself that title. You think that's going to gain you anything from me? No, it won't. Flat earthers talk more crap than globers half the time.
Yo, guys, retarded as fuck.
Got good at it. I was just saying, we got good at it.
I don't know if we did. I think the people who arrived in Flat Earth were ushered here along conspiratorial roads. So they're conspiratorial by nature. So when they talk about Flat Earth, they sound like conspiratards, because they are. Most Flat Earth people annoy me greatly. Like I say, half the time I don't want to ascribe myself that title. If I'm out in public, I don't.
You have to pass a lot of that stuff. I'll give you that. You got to pass a lot of speculation.
Yeah.
Dave Murphy is so convincing. I could have the urine to my lips before I realise what I'm doing.
What?
I know exactly what he's talking about. That's funny.
The point is, we're going to sound like numpties if we've come from numpty backgrounds and then come across a subject that's based in measurements and facts. That's probably the point. How can we have this subject that's surrounded with magic and mysticism? Well, let's get people who like magic and mysticism to talk about it. Won't take very long at all. Then no one's talking about the measurements. Great. That's what we got. What's that, Dave Weiss? Flat Earth's all about ice walls and domes. Check out your app. All right. Well, that doesn't actually have any proof of Earth being flat, though, does it? Could you not just present a measurement of it, like elevation angles or directionality, north, south, east, west, things like that need a flat Earth to work and have useful principles behind them, like travelling? What about those? Could we not mention those? No, we got an ice wall. There might be more lands beyond it. The dome! Check out my model with a sun and moon moving around it. Pay $5. That's what wankery we get as flat Earth representation. None of the people who claim to be flat Earthers, like Flat Earth Dave, can even say Earth is flat and prove it. When asked, push come to shove, do you know for sure, without a doubt, Earth is flat? Flat Earth Dave's responses could be a really big ball. Like, this is what exactly, if you were trying to lie about the nature of Earth, what would you want? The people who represent the truth of the world to be the dumbest idiots out there. We're just there to con you out a bit of money for an app, tell you that the sun's this high and moves around like this on this globe projection. And yeah, there might be ice walls and lands beyond them. Isn't it exciting? Let's speculate together. Yeah, I hate this arena sometimes. It really annoys me. It's not complicated at all. Earth is simply measured flat. We navigate it flat. We fly over it flat. We sail on it flat. We build on it flat. It's flat.
Yeah, when they do say anything about measurements, it's like in passing. You know, they don't lay it down. They don't nail it to the ground. They just say it in passing.
Right, we're gonna go live.
The main.
Sorry, Neil, go ahead.
Yeah, like the main proof would be like an afterthought. When you put it out there like that plainly, it really does just seem so silly.
The price of Adam, not Adam Price.
I earned that title.
Just say what I see.
Morning.
It says Adam Price. That's what I said. What do you want? Anyway, your Discord and or YouTube moniker aside, welcome Discord panel. We are in politics today. So if you did want to join this particular server that we are frequenting today and have been for about a year now on a Friday, you will have to pick it up from one of the links in the YouTube live stream chat, which I hope one of my moderators will post. So the politics server, fantastic server, very accommodating to us and has been for quite some time. We are here to tell them Earth is measured flat. And as flat earthers, there's no need to be telling people how Earth isn't ball-shaped as your opener, given that you're a flat earther. Open with the facts of the matter when it comes to Earth and how it's measured. Flat. So we've been singing that good message, as I say, for about 12 months. And that's why we're here today. Sometimes they're very exciting shows. Sometimes they're a bit slow and a bit long-winded to get started. We'll see how this one goes.
It's been a year already.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it didn't turn 2024 and me immediately jump into the politics Discord server. I'm like, this is the message for 2024. And then we're like, how can we spread this message further and wider? And then we went into politics.
Unfortunately, flat earthers are not listening, Nathan.
People don't generally listen to things immediately. When I was being trained up on what science meant in reality by Quantum Eraser, I explained to him that I'd need it probably 10 times. That would be the same thing repeating 10 times before it would sink into the point where I could repeat it to next man in a concise manner. So people not listening when they've heard it several times, yeah, Earth's measured flat, says Nathan. That can't be that easy. Yeah, it can be. Just go and have a look at some of the measurements. But you don't believe me on the first bluff, do you? People think I'm just making it too simple. No, I'm not.
I don't see your question, but I need it another 9 times.
No question here. Earth's just measured flat. I mean, we could ask the Discord server. There's some ballers in there. Is there any evidence of Earth curve? Ladies and gentlemen of the politics Discord server? It's the horizon, formerly known as Earth curve. No? Shout out to Unitox Femu. If you had GBD, globe belief disorder, breathe deep and every morning repeat sea level. For lunch, define elevation, and in the evening, angels. I think he spelt it angles, or, you know, that play on words, playing. Thank you very much. That is probably the best written super chat from Unitox Femu ever. Thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate the support.
That was good. Good on you, Sasha.
Go ahead. Is it River? I don't know. Maybe not. So yeah, as I say, if it takes a little while for this show to get going before either a curious flatty who wants clarity on some of the arguments or a brave pill saturated, let's just say, globe believer decides that they want to challenge us on what we say typically. Not in this server. We'll see. Silence doesn't fuss me too much on a Friday.
You've been blinking, Maverick. Maybe you have something to say?
Blinking?
Yeah, like your mic's open.
Oh, my bad.
I'd say it's a pretty successful year in terms of the message going across here. Why would you suggest that the flat earthers aren't listening to that message? Been punting it for a year.
Well, like I say, a lot of the flat earthers that are out and about and people love to hear from are saying it in passing. They'll say, yeah, Earth is measured flat. That's it. Then they'll go off into ether and other things. A lot of them are not listening.
Okay. Well, recently we've been specifically covering Wits It Gets It doing that. Do you mean Wits It Gets It's not listening? Because he specifically does that.
No, not just him. Not just him.
Well, who else is doing this dropping in of Earth being measured flat and then waffling on about something that isn't related to Earth or its measurements and it being flat?
I heard it in a short. I don't know. I was just going through a bunch of shorts, and that's exactly how the guy sounded. Said we have measurements, and then next thing I know, they were in ether.
Yeah, I mean, Wits, it's got his fans, so you got to expect him to be influential on people if he's an influencer in the same way I am. You know, when I hear people saying the things that we say, if you will, on Flat Earth Debate, that's because we have influenced them to do so. And Witsit does that too. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. Obviously, we'd prefer that people talking about... Go ahead, whoever that is.
You know, the unfortunate thing is that when you have, let's say, influencers, right? Especially in today's, scope, you have influencers that unfortunately don't do great things. You know, like you slapping your child on a camera.
I haven't slapped my child on a camera. What are you talking about?
You want me?
Idiot.
Is this what
Yeah,
ballers
I'm pretty
do?
sure that's dogs are gods
what
again.
Ballers do to relieve their pain. They like to come and accuse me of child abuse. Wow. I've just explained how Earth's measured flat for a solid, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Talk to Neil about why flat earthers wouldn't accept this or don't understand it, and what I get from this globe-believing numpty is accused of child abuse. Wow.
What else could they do?
What, accept that Earth is measured the way it's measured? That would be flat. No, I think it'd be better to attack me, claim I'm a child abuser. Now, I don't beat my kids. Earth is measured flat, though. Did you want to address the latter?
I think they already banned him.
He's still here?
No, I think they got banned already. Whoever that was.
Good. Not my server. Again, for
Yeah,
my
we-
audience's benefit, this isn't my server, so I'm not in charge here, so I can't just, immediately server ban somebody for coming in and okay.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
didn't want
sorry.
him here anymore.
Say again, sorry?
Done.
Yeah, he's done. He's
I
not
didn't
gonna
need
come
him
in and
here
sneak around.
anymore. He was trying to post shit, so I got rid of him.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, it's always very slick. Within a couple of minutes of somebody doing something like that, whenever I'm in politics or whenever it's happened in the past, it immediately fills me with joy because you are slick in here. In terms of mod skills, you guys are very slick. I know AJ's someone we're familiar with, but the whole team seems to be like a coherent team of moderation. And that the audience will never understand that because they've probably never worked as a moderating team. The best moderating teams are the ones that you have no idea are even there. Whereas I really appreciate that. In other words, it's generally you can only get moaned at as a moderator. Why didn't you do this? Whereas if there's no moans, it means all of the moderation team are working coherently and doing their job well. And then they're invisible, basically. Which is no thanks task, right? Then no one thanks you. But I'm grateful. I'm always grateful to mod teams.
Yeah, we like to stay invisible. It's the best part.
Well, I'm grateful. When that happens, I'm then acutely aware that there's somebody working hard to make that be the case, which is wonderful because that's what it needs to be, but still takes effort and is thankless.
There's at least 6 moderators in here right now that are not saying a word.
Yeah, it makes me smile. You guys are all ace and appreciated by me, if not by everybody who's watching and doesn't know about how many feet are foraying around underneath the surface of the water as all the swans glide on the top.
Yeah, and so everyone's aware that was Dogs Are Gods. Again, that's another sock account from him. You know who Dogs Are Gods are, Nathan?
I don't care if you've got a question. Has he got a question?
No, that was the guy who just piped up before and got banned. He's a prolific
fair
pest.
enough. They're in pain. That's the thing. They have nothing to attack the arguments anymore. So it's always been the case that the best thing they can do is discredit the person passing on the information or attempt to. That's their tactic. Well, okay, we've got an argument. Earth will still be flat, regardless of your claims of my child abuse that aren't true. Earth will still be flat tomorrow, though. What are you going to do about that? Will the pain relief that you've sought out here by accusing me of a crime make you feel better about Earth measurements tomorrow? Well, maybe it'll relieve the pain for a minute or two, but that's all.
No, Nathan, they're trying to character assassinate you. Nathan's children love him, and it's obvious to anyone that knows him personally.
Who cares? They could hate me.
Let's hope he
it
gets
wouldn't matter
the
either
mental
way.
help
It wouldn't
he
matter if they
obviously
did
needs.
hate me. Let's say they did. Let's say they despised me. I was one of those terrible fathers. I was never in their life. I mean, that's not the case. I homeschool them, but let's pretend. Okay? Does that make any difference to flat Earth measurements either, Neil? It doesn't matter either way. That's the point. It's just an ad hom.
No, but No, what I'm saying is their whole thing, if you go back, way back, it's always character assassination because they have no proof.
Sure. But like I say, I've got such a thick skin now, I don't care. You think I've got some good character to defend? You guys at large, in the social structure that we've all been enveloped in from birth, think that I, as a flat earther, am the lowest of the low and worthy of ridicule regardless of whether or not some tosser comes in and claims I've committed crimes. That's not going to really smear me much more than I can be. I'm considered a flat earther, but Earth is still measured flat tomorrow. That's my point. Yeah, well, you want me to see more scummy in the eye, unless I change the general perception of flat earthers in general, like everybody in the world suddenly didn't have the automatic assumption that flat earthers are scum and stupid. Until I change that, you can smear me all you like, and it makes no difference. I'm still here. Been here 10 years. You think it's new that people come in and start accusing me of stuff? No, it isn't. But I'm still here telling you it's flat and how it is measured thus. No amount of character assassination is going to make you feel any better about how Earth is measured tomorrow when that pain relief, because you've gone, yay, I attacked Nathan Oakley, that wears off really quick for you who are in pain with the measurements of Earth that is flat. That's the point. Long gone are the days of telling us that they've got globe measurements. Now, any claim they say they have of globe measurements immediately has one of us pointing out where Earth is measured flat for their claim. Troubling times. What do I do? What do I do? Call him a child abuser, quick! Okay.
After making a new account.
Yeah, it used to be do not swear, and when you get banned for swearing, don't come back with sock accounts. Do I need to add to the intro? You know, the same goes when I'm in other people's servers. Don't come back as sock accounts. What gives? Because they're not listening to the intro in Discord, politics Discord, right? They haven't come from my show. That's the point. So he's not hearing me say, don't create new accounts when you get buggered off for doing whatever you've done. Swearing is just a way of saying don't be naughty.
Nathan, that pitch data that we got from Buck Sodbuster, it's driving him crazy that he released that information of how to get it because he's in the chat every day. He does not stop.
What?
Claiming about dip correction, that we don't know what we're doing, and Earth is a sphere, all that nonsense. I think he's feeling really guilty that he released that.
You're saying the guy who pointed us in the direction of pitch data available to all, publicly recorded, etc., etc. The guy who alluded to that, who is on the Globe side, now is going crazy in the chat, saying, that's a ball, that's a ball, that's a ball, because he didn't think he was doing any harm by giving us the pitch data. Is that what you're saying? Who cares?
Yeah, now he realizes the harm he's done, so he's in here every day claiming that we don't know what we're doing when we're talking about dip correction. It's sloped angles and all of that nonsense. He's feeling the pain.
Oh, well. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I mean, if he wants us to make him feel better, the only thing I could sincerely offer to make him feel better is that it really doesn't matter that it's you that gave it us. We'd have got it eventually. You know, it's the hive mind. There's a lot of people. There's potential on all sides when we're in a group that is very well connected through things like YouTube and social media. We're in big groups with lots of people scrutinising us and watching us. So if it wasn't you, Buck Sodbuster, giving us the pitch data, it would have been someone else eventually. If it makes you feel any better, don't feel any guilt. Yeah, it is devastating to the argument, but it's not your pitch data either. The fact that you knew where to get something doesn't make you responsible for the thing that we got, and doesn't mean that ultimately we wouldn't have got there eventually without your assistance pointing us in the right direction. I do thank you for doing so, though. If you've put a shortcut in our way, or however you describe getting a shortcut, then great, thank you. You know, I am grateful. I don't know about you, Neil. I'm grateful to the guy who gave it us. How long it had taken us to get there without his assistance is anybody's guess, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a hero. He's a flat Earth hero.
I don't know about that. He's not a hero. But that sounds like you're trying to twist a knife. He's no hero, because I've just demeaned that and gone, look, to absolve yourself of guilt, yeah, you gave it to us, but you just a guy being honest and going, well, actually, I know where you can get that data. Here it is. Why wouldn't I give it you? It's not going to change the fact Earth's a ball, says he when he hands it over. When we go, here you go, there's a flat measured, recorded, set in stone from a very official foot. He goes, oh crap. Don't worry about it, Burke. You then have to keep chanting in the chat. I mean, if you really want better pain relief and reaffirmation of a ball, there's plenty of places to get it. Go to Simon Dan. I say that in jest to other people, but in sincerity, go and watch a bit of Simon Dan for a bit. And you'll come away going, yeah, it's a ball. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know actually what Simon Dan produces. I just know he's an anti-flatty. So he'll affirm your bias for you, buddy.
No, we thought the pitch data was going to confirm a ball.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. He had good intentions for the ball when he gave us the pitch data, right? He's not going to think that it's going to in any way affirm something that we've been arguing with logical consistency for years and years and years on end, with absolutely cast iron, as official as it gets documentation. He didn't know that would be the result. It is. Earth's measured flat and the pitch data proves it. So, any of the ballers want to accuse me of crimes or argue that we've got Earth curve measurements, perhaps? That would be a better alternative, in my humble opinion. No?
I think we should focus on your personal appearance for a while.
Or my criminal record that I don't have. Do you know what I mean?
Or how about your shelving?
Yeah, somebody in the comments was saying, you need to improve those hexagon shelves that are behind you. And I'm like, hexagon shelves? He didn't say hexagon shelves. I'm saying that so that when I put the camera on now, it makes sense what the guy's talking about. So he's talking about these, which are acoustic panels, right? So there's 3 or 4 of them, all globe believers, in the comments going, get those shelves fixed, get those shelves fixed. And then it must have been you, right? You've said it's not shelves, it's acoustic treatment. Was that you?
No, it wasn't me.
Someone else pointed out, and I'm like, yeah, you globe-believing idiots think that they're shelves. Okay, there's Lego on them. They are also acting as a shelf for Lego that constantly rotates around the room at a cost of thousands of pounds, I might add. Bloody Lego's expensive. I had no idea. My wife, she's like putting these vouchers into the Lego thing, scanning all these vouchers, and I'm like, so how much do these sets cost? I'm looking at all of the different, what they call them, instruction manuals. And she tells me, I'm looking at all these sets going, my God, we must have spent about $5,000 on Lego. My God, no wonder we're poor. To be fair, it is about 8 years worth of Lego. But that day I was watching them play with one of the sets and I'm like, be gentle with that.
The Earth is round.
Oh, yeah.
The Earth is round.
Oh, yeah.
It is,
We got
I just wanted
contender.
to tell Nathan, Legos can withstand an 80-ton hydraulic press, bro. They're made to last.
That's true, but it's also a fallacy of division. A Lego penguin cannot stand an 80-ton press. I absolutely assure you of that.
True. True story.
Yeah, I'm sure Lego...
If you shoot a laser beam from one end of the world to the other, if the world was flat, you would see the laser beam. I rest my case.
As evidenced by?
Solved.
Okay. Did you have an example of that?
Do you want me to Google it? You think no one's done it before?
No, it's your claim.
Well, I mean, to actually back up my claims.
Yes, that would be ideal if you could back up your claim. Unless you were expecting me to do it. Were you expecting me to back your claim?
No. I retract my statement. I'm muting my mic.
No worries. Just so I've got something that you can walk away with after your baseless assertion that you couldn't back about Earth being a globe by taking apart a flat Earth claim you hadn't in any way endeavoured to demonstrate. Earth is actually measured flat. For instance, when making the maps, you've got this system called latitude, which you may or may not be aware of. Now, latitude is elevation angles. That's a flat baseline and a line up to the star Polaris. You can only acquire that system for mapping if Earth is flat. And Earth is, I assure you, flat. It's measured for latitude. So just so you've got something to go away with, that would be me backing the fact Earth is flat with a measurement of latitude that has a flat Earth prerequisite. Earth must be flat for latitude to even exist. There you go. There's me backing what I say with proof and evidence, just so you got something after your baseless assertion.
You're hot right now, and you're trending in Europe right now.
That's fascinating. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat, just for you to have something to go away with. We heard your baseless assertion, or baseless slursion, we could call it. Do you like that? Baseless assertion? I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, I do, however, have one thing to add for the slow kids who actually thought from the Glober side that he had a point, is that the ambient atmospheric occlusion that occurs over a horizontal plane would preclude a laser from penetrating at approximately 300 to 350 miles. So you couldn't even shoot a laser across the world, dude. Your whole idea is nonsensical.
Not to mention the light or the laser beam would diverge at some point.
There just aren't enough AA batteries in the world, are there?
Exactly. However, to his point, where he conceded that if the laser can shoot across and be seen on the other side, then that disproves a globe. Just to answer his point, well, that's already been done many, many times. Lasers being shot and hitting their targets at the same level across the body of water, proving that what? Water is level, flat, horizontal. So according to you, Earth is flat. Welcome, brother.
Shout out to Jason Dean. Earth is round. Blah. Thank you for the super chat. Right, as it's gone a bit silent.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'll just do a quick call to action for the politics server. So hopefully one of my mods will post a link, if you would be so kind. Post a link to one of the Discord servers, politics in this case, where we are on a Friday typically, and I've been for about a year. So if you're watching this live, please go and join the politics server. There you go. Sorry, I'm done.
I was just going to point out, plenty of round things are also flat. So again, he concedes the Earth is flat. Good for you guys. I mean, all these Globers showing up conceding the Earth is flat. It's a great day for flat Earth. We're going to have to buy extra snacks for all the new people.
I saw a short the other day that was like the guys in accountancy saying they need to pep up their sales for potato chips. They go, should we ask Alex? And they're like, no, don't ask Alex. He comes up with some crazy ideas. They go, no, we've run out of ideas. We'll have to ask Alex. So Alex comes over and he goes, what should we do, Alex, to pep up the crisp sales? He says, we should make crisps in the shape of a hyperbolic parabola. And he shows them a Pringle shape. As we can stack them in tennis tubes. It'll be awesome. People will be cremated and keep themselves in these crisp jars that we sell them. Go away, Alex. You're bonkers. You're bonkers.
Yeah, them Pringles be awesome, though.
I was just thinking, you could assume Earth's a hyperbolic paraboloid, or whatever you call a Pringle shape. They just automatically assume that we should beg the question of sphericity alongside them. Come on, have some imagination. There are more exciting shapes to assume Earth is. We're getting bored with just people coming here assuming Earth's a sphere. Can't you assume it's something a bit more interesting? I mean, the reality is even more boring. It's just a plane of reference as measured. That's Earth. That's kind of boring, really, when you actually boil flat Earth down to the reality of it. Yeah, it's just measured flat. That's actually really boring.
But why are they keeping it a secret then? If you your belief, then why is the
Who are
world
they?
flat?
Nobody's
Why are we being told that it's round? Can you just shed some lights on that?
You would have to find out who
why?
told you that it was round, and you'd have to ask them why they told it you. I mean, nobody's lying.
Why do you believe? Why do you believe that they're trying to make us believe that it's round? What game
I just
is
gave you
there
an
in
answer.
it for the?
Sir, did you hear my answer?
Oh, you
It seems your
so
capability of comprehension is
lag.
a bit lower than is necessary to communicate with me. I've just answered your
You
question.
might lag.
Okay, perhaps if you stop talking, I'll repeat it, hopefully without you talking, for a second time, for you to know why the person who told you Earth was a ball incorrectly was motivated. You'd have to go to them and ask them. I further add that nobody's lying about anything. Earth is measured flat, and if you try and functionally do anything, or go to the documentation about how you functionally do anything with Earth, it will also say Earth is flat. Because it is. That's how it's dealt with functionally. So who's lying according to you? And if it's just, well, I, meaning you, believe it's a ball, well, who told you that? Go ask them.
But don't you have a theory?
What about how Earth is measured? Don't need theories here. We've got measurements. It's more of a maths category.
Not theory. Like why they're keeping it a secret?
Who are they? And who are they? For the third time?
The society, the 1% of the 1%.
Who are they? I don't know who they are.
They're like Mission Impossible. You know, the dude that Tom Cruise is always trying to fight that evil, like dudes that are always trying to end the world. Like them, they, them, binary. They.
So you're asking me why the they, them inside Mission Impossible lied to you about being on a ball. When did you last have your mental evaluation, sir? My name's Nathan Oakley. I'm not asking you to chuckle at me, sir. You seem disturbed to ask somebody else why in the Mission Impossible universe somebody lied about Earth being I can't answer that, sir. That's preposterous. I'm a flat earther who knows how Earth is measured. My name's Nathan Oakley.
I'm just saying that
I am in the middle of talking, and it would seem that you've decided you're going to slur through the top of me because me talking is you talking, obviously. Me in the middle of my statement is you deciding that it's only appropriate that you should be talking. After your delusional nonsense about men in Mission Impossible? No, sir. I'm telling you that Earth is measured flat because it is measured flat. I'm giving you my name so you can reference me later. My name's Nathan Oakley. Unlike you, I'm not asking about characters in Mission Impossible movies about their motivation for lying about globe Earth. I'm telling you how Earth is measured and giving you my name out of politeness. Nathan Oakley is my name. Earth is measured flat. Dun 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 dun
Very nice decrescendo there.
Dude, are you having a bad time or something?
All of them on the globe side are having a bad time, always. It's a very depressing thing to be.
I'll give them props, though. That was pretty original. I never heard that one before.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they? The guys from Mission Impossible, dude. Who else?
The they-thems from Mission Impossible, no less. The they-them non-binaries from Mission Impossible. They're obviously the ones lying to us about the globe. Why would they lie? I don't know. Called an appeal to motivation fallacy. It matters not what motivated the they-thems to lie. What's the lie? Is it a lie or isn't it, first of all? If it is, then you know it's a lie. That's it. That's the end of the story for you. Oh, right, you need to know why your wife was cheating on you. No, just leave your wife. She's cheating on you, you know now. Don't try and divine her motivation. Just leave her, lest you be called a cuck. Why would she lie? Why would she cheat on me? She did. Get over it. Move on. Stop trying to divine her motivation. It matters not. You're not going to be with her anymore, are you? No, but I really want to know why, so I can change. All right. Well, you're going to be a victim again, aren't you? Clearly. She'll do it to you again. But yeah, question why the liars lied to you. Me, I don't care. NASA, I turned my back on them long ago. But why would NASA be pretending to be in the sky? I don't care. That's your concern now, not mine. I don't care. Just turn your back on them. They're liars. Chocolate saying on my panel made a whole song about it about 8 years ago. Called, guess what? Why would they lie? With us basically taking the mickey out of idiots who would question that. Who cares why they'd lie? But that's what we get asked. Well, what's your theory? What about your sudden concern about motivation? A fallacy. I don't have the same concerns. You go find out for us. Let us know when you do.
Globers, we didn't ask why would they lie when we became flat earthers, so you can just give up on that one.
As long as you know it's flat, you shouldn't concern yourself with it. It doesn't matter why they lied. Literally. If you know they have lied. That is to say, who has lied? There's very few people I can actually put in the list of liars. Astronauts. I know the sky's not a vacuum. Any man who professes to have been in a sky vacuum is a liar. Now, that's a pretty slim list. Astronauts. That's about it. There's very few people I can call liars. Now, the rest of them, duped, fooled, useful idiots, or anything else, does it matter? I know how Earth's measured. Now, if people go around saying otherwise, that's their bag. That ain't me. I'm not going to call them liars. Half the time they don't know any better. You know, it's ignorance. Shout out to Phoenix Rising 86 for the super chat. To give the illusion that we'd be unsupervised, we failed God. And then a skull and crossbones. A lot of babies to answer. Is that what he means? Am I supposed to be reading the emojis? To answer the heads case question. Thank you very much for the super chat, Phoenix Rising. I'll read it without the emojis. To give the illusion that we're unsupervised, we failed God, and a lot of you've got to have babies to answer the head case's question. Peace sign. Okay, I struggle to read emojis in the middle of a super chat, but really appreciate the support. Thank you very much indeed. I got at least maybe 20 minutes left with the Discord politics server.
Hey, Nathan.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, everyone. Did I hear someone say a minute ago, why are they hiding the fact that it's flat? Or did I hear that wrong?
From the drunk guy?
Is that what it is?
That was the essence of what he was asking. What's your theory about hiding flat Earth / lying about the globe?
You can't hide something just blatantly in front of you.
Yes, that's why I came in. I couldn't hold it. I was just listening in. I couldn't hold it. Like they're not hiding it. Just look out your front door. Like it's right there. All the measurements there. There's nobody's hiding it. People just choose to believe something else. That's all. Nobody's hiding it from you.
You can't hide something that is functionally required to move around and stuff. It's impossible to hide the actual nature of Earth. Now, they've created, this is the difficult part for them, they've created a religion about being on a ball. Now, that doesn't need any measurements. There's nothing dependent on that. And if some aspect of it fails, well, then you just change it. That's how globe functions. Like, oh, well, if the model's wrong, we'll add a bit of dark matter. Oh, well, then we need a bit of a dark energy. And, well, then we've got a cosmic radiation background medium that, you know, perpetuates life from the origins that we can see back in time with in this model. You can do whatever you like. Now, that's your belief in being on a globe, which doesn't require anything to actually functionally operate in reality. You can try and translate that belief into reality so it seems like it has some semblance of use in reality. But the two are separate things. There's reality, and that requires Earth be measured flat because you're actually physically doing things. And if you don't, you'll die. That's it. Functionally, Earth has to be flat. So if you do anything with Earth, it will be and is and can only be flat. So when people come along and go, why are they hiding flat Earth? They're not. It's Brian's point. So well, how do you make it seem like there's a... Sorry, the guy that I was summarising your point about, you felt the need to yawn through the middle of my point there, sir? What's going on? Did you just felt like having a bit of a growl with your mic wide open, sir, or summarising your point?
Sorry, I'm going to mute my mic. I forgot that my mic was an open mic.
No, that's okay.
I'll let you go back to your...
I didn't need your permission, actually, sir. Just need you to just shut up and ideally not interrupt with your mic wide open, but thanks. You've had to be server muted because after your interruption you carried on waffling, giving me permission to talk on my own show. But thank you. Really appreciate that interruption. Yeah, Brian's right. There's no hiding anything, sir. It's flat and it's measured that way. For everyone, always. But separate to that, you've got a religion of being on a ball, haven't you? That doesn't have anything to do with practically applied Earth, though. You just have to make it seem like it could work with an Earth that's measured flat. Yeah, exactly, Brian.
It's equivalent to... Sorry, you finished, Nathan.
Yeah, I'm saying exactly, Brian.
All right, sorry. Well, technically, Flatsy jumped in just before me, but it's equivalent to saying, let's just say, why is the Baha'i faith hiding the fact that it's flat? It's like... No, no, you just have a religious belief about it not being flat. No one's hiding that it is. You know, that's all it is. It's that simple. But we haven't really broke it down to that until this point, have we? You know?
Got a nice super chat there, buddy.
Yeah, Clip Brown says the best part of waking up is flat Earth in your cup. I think he's doing like a super. Is it super noodles or soup? Cup of soup or something like that. The best.
Folgers.
Is it cup of soup that he's
Folgers coffee, Nathan. Come on.
Coffee.
Folgers.
I don't know it. I'm really sorry. Someone's gonna have to sing that tune. Is it an American advert?
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
That's an American advert. I don't know. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm glad Flatsy was here to save my bacon. Thank you.
It was hard not to laugh.
We had a couple of other super chats that have come in as well. That was $100 super chat, so I'm seriously glad that you got something sung to him. Excellent. You got value because Flatsy was here. If she hadn't been, I wouldn't have given it here. But thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate the $100 super chat there. Also, shout out again to Unitox Femu. But where can I find reality of Earth in the measurements? Anything practically applied, Unitox Femu? Thank you very much for the super chat. I could only use emojis or Google won't take the super chat. Is that right? God's plan is coming full circle. Peace sign. Thank you very much, both of you, or all three of you, for your super chats. Really appreciate the support.
Neil will sing the same thing for you for a $5.
You get much cheaper from Neil.
Hey, don't laugh. I was a singing bass player. I was in a band for 5 years.
I did the Mission Impossible tune earlier.
That was good. It was very good. I haven't warmed up my voice this morning yet, so good job at getting me to sing.
That was a perfect raspy song.
The growling and murmuring sounds that came out of the guy there earlier who opened his mic, not the last time he opened it, but the time before that, before I joined. That's the sound of a globe. That's sounded like. That's what's
You
going
missed
on
the guy
inside
this
them.
morning, Brian, contending with pitch data. You would have liked that.
We haven't made it on if he's a LARPer. The guy that was... Well, he might have been a LARPer, so he's saying he's a flatty, but then from what I can glean, he's saying, well, what about if I pretend to be a globey for a bit? And then he said, let's have a look how pitch data would work on a globe. And I've gone, it can't work on a globe. It's not an argument, it's a conclusion. And he's like, well, let's just assume Earth is a globe and see it. And I'm like, no, show me the globe on the pitch data. Then AJ steps in and goes, right, at X time past the hour, there's the pitch data. So I'm like, show me the globe on it. And that was the end of the discussion.
Yeah.
Wasn't. There was a bit of argy-bargy, actually, in reality. But you can imagine what it descended into.
It was the essential end, is what you're saying, is it?
The guy eventually had to be server muted because there's rumpusing and various stuff from that point forth, right? But then at the point that the moderators in the politics shut him down, I'm like, what's going on? And then Neil says, I think that guy's a flat earther. What? Surely not. He's rumpusing at the point that is most contentious. That doesn't seem like someone LARPing and disclaiming that they're LARPing as a glurf. It seems like someone that actually is an anti-flat earther. Man, these are terms that people who are unfamiliar with this won't know.
Well, you know what it is? Hey, chocolate. I suppose it's a case of something like the pitch data or elevation angles or one of these that they're against the religion of the globe, and so we have to understand that there's going to be a lot of people coming up with crazy nonsense. You know what I mean? To try and explain away reality, because that's what it is, isn't it? Because when your religion is that it's a globe, but the reality is that it's flat, you're going to have to come up with something, aren't you? It's either that or drop the religion, which most of them are not going to do.
Well, this kind of ties into... It's weird because we've been discussing your efforts when critiquing Witsit, and I can't remember. I think it was... I'm not trying to be contentious here and start any arguments, but when looking at your efforts and comparing them, and it's caused a big row, which I've immediately regretted bringing this up as a comparison, but you've done a fair amount of stuff to end up in a position to come up with a decent argument with pitch data, right? It's not just chance where you've suddenly dropped into this discussion and gone, look, check it out, pitch data, and then by chance, Sodbuster's giving you some, and wow, what a wonderful... No, you know, when you're doing your thing, like Brian has been doing for a considerable amount of time, you end up with a gem, right? Every dog has his day, if you will. And that's Brian the dog having his day with pitch data because he's been at it a long time. I'm trying to downplay but simultaneously give a justification for you coming up with such a grand argument. It's not out of the blue, right?
Are you saying if you keep digging, you'll find a diamond kind of stuff? That's
a better analogy. Yeah. Brian's been digging a nice big hole, and if the hole represents what he's been doing, I know that has ended in a row in the last week. Right, AI? That's not what I'm trying to take this, though. I'm trying to say what Brian said at the end of this. You eventually find a diamond, as opposed to get it back into how much bloody work Witsit's done, and that being contentious. Anyway, yeah.
Same for anyone, isn't it? If anyone who's been in the topic a couple of years, everyone has their own gem eventually, you know. If you're looking into stuff and if you're trying to prove your point, and you're in the topic a couple of years, you're going to find something that's going to be attributed to you. You know, something that would be of note.
Well, this is the thing, you see, because when we first put pitch data out there, or let's be more accurate, when you first put pitch data out there, having tried to chase it down with people like Wolfie, Adam and QE jumped on the bandwagon immediately and were like, look, we've all been talking about this. Now, that isn't unreasonable, because they'd been arguing it in a subtly different way, both Adam and QE, for years. So for them to, get alongside you, to put it in a more positive light, was perfectly obvious and reasonable to do so. But by the same token, from day one, I saw it as your argument. Like, this is a Brian's logic moment. And in a way, I'm not saying that they were trying to steal your thunder, but it's still like, well, we were all talking about it. It's like, yeah, but Brian was the one who got it and was chasing it, and you've got the stories of having literally asked Wolfie for it for ages. So in my mind, I bloody Adam and QE aren't listening. In my mind, this is your argument, Brian, until Adam or QE get here, and then I'll relinquish all claims that I ever said this.
Well, yeah, it is because my argument with Lite became mainly, even though Adam's data is completely validated by the pitch data, and the pitch data is validated by Adam's data, and QE's argument is totally validated. Not saying they need it to be, I'm just saying they are. So the pitch data, Adam's argument, and QE's argument all validate each other. So yeah, it's a trio kind of situation. But my argument became concerning Lite is not that I wouldn't make the arguments that QE or Adam are making, is that my argument was lift effect, because that's the killer. So I technically didn't need the pitch data to win a debate or to win a point with lift effect. But the thing about it is the pitch data shows, the data of what's happening. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. So it really just validates Adam, because Adam's data shows that the vector of down never changes. So there's no divergence. All the vectors of down, while the plane was at cruising altitude, were all exactly parallel. They weren't diverging from each other towards the center of the globe. You know what I mean? That is actually brilliant data. Technically, we got the data in 2016, but because Adam is just a chemist, just a pharmacist, it wasn't going to be accepted. No, everyone could hand wave it away. But when you get official data, which is what I was looking for years, when you get that, it can't be hand waved. Yeah, when it shows exactly what people have been saying for years, it can't be hand waved away.
The two can parallel alongside each other. Same with D-Marble's data, actually. You confirm.
Absolutely, yeah. Just as good. It's just not official, that's all.
Exactly. Well, it's showing that the official data matches what we verify in actuality, what we've shown to be the case with accelerometers or by whatever means. It validates those manual gatherings of data, however you want to describe Adam and D-Marble's efforts.
But people would have laughed at D-Marble maybe a little bit with his little spirit level. It doesn't matter. He's showing exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
The spirit level creates a horizontal, and the pitch was always slightly above that horizontal during cruising altitude. He proved it years ago as well.
How is it it's no different to what Adam did? I mean, if anything, Adam's not going to like me saying this. I would prefer Darrell's method. When you keep it simple with something like that on a very, let's say, analog toy, well, you go, it's not a toy, it's a precision instrument. If you're going to try and demean it, it's not a toy. It's a spirit level. That's a precision instrument. Well, he can show it in physical reality, and I can observe it on a camera to a standard that I'd be satisfied with when observing it third hand on a YouTube video. Adam's data, it's from the phone. I don't know. If I was going to critically analyse the two and say which would you have your gun to your head moment, which would you say proves it and you'd accept? Would you be more certain if you only had Adams, or more certain if you only had D-Marbles? I'd take D-Marbles because I can actually see what's going on. Because you're saying the opponents mock it. You're like, what for its lack of precision? It's like, that would be the one I'd favour.
Yeah, Nathan, a physical device like that, for lack of a better term, is open source, right? You know exactly what it's doing.
Yeah, he's not fiddling with it. Is he fiddling with the numbers that come out of the tool? So I can see it with my own eyes. That at that point, no, a YouTube video is satisfactory enough for me to say, yeah, he's validated that. I'm good with that. I've never done that on a plane. He did, and I can watch it on a YouTube video. And now Adam's data is better. And if you want to say you take out the trust element, and I do trust Adam, no, that data is considerably better than D-Marble's data. But from a, like I say, gun to your head, which one would you accept? D-Marble's
more
is
nerdy.
Go on.
Sorry. I was going to say, I wouldn't say it's better. It's just a bit more nerdy, as in because it uses accelerometers and that. That's what. So Adam's data is like after D-Marble does what he does, people, the nerds want to go, well, let's check this with accelerometers. And Adam did. No, we already did. There's the data. Do you know what I mean? So Adam's data backs up what D-Marble did. What D-Marble did backs up Adam. It all backs up itself. You know what I mean? It's flat. You know what I mean? It's all showing the same thing. You know?
There you go.
Yeah. I'm just saying, gun to my head, if you're like, you've only got D-Marble's video, at that point, I'd be happy to say, no, I'll put my life on it. It's flat. I know I've seen examples. It's demonstrated in this video by D-Marble. You can witness it for yourself, gunman. You don't need to execute me, because I not only would stake my life on it being flat, you can verify it in the D-Marble video. Now, if I put Adams in front, I'd be like, yeah, you've got to trust that he's not fiddling nothing. Trust me, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Bang. You know what I'm driving at?
Well, keep in mind.
Yeah, no, I think.
Keep in mind for a context of the history of this, when all this stuff was going on, when Flat Earth was coming into certain social media spheres, a lot of people who fancy themselves expert in fields that they thought could arbitrate the proposition showed up and be like, hey, guess what, guys? I'm a this, I'm a that. And, guys like Wolfie were on the scene saying, I'm a pilot. And pilots, they can arbitrate this proposition easy, because guess what, guys? We've got access to black box data, and black box data proves that the plane is following an arc path, because it's going to show the plane is constantly rotating momentaneously, where the nose and the tail are doing a somersault over each other. That's their claim, that they proudly said, we got the pilots, the black box data exists, and when we reveal it to the world, it's going to squash you flat earthers flatter than flat, and it's going to prove it's a globe. That's what they were preaching. And guess what? Every person who challenged Wolfie to present any of that data, he never presented nothing. He just presented a claim that somewhere in a dark corner of a box in a plane, it's going to prove the Earth is a globe. Well, that didn't turn out too well for him, did it?
Yeah, and when asked by Brian to actually present it, the answer was, no, that'd cost 140 grand. Minimum. Very difficult to get.
Yeah, and it's flat that I got onto that train as well, and I got other people who had come to my channel got onto that train as well. So when they were seeing Wolfie, they were asking him, I don't know how many people were asking him, but probably a good few, where's that pitch data? So he was driven mad with it, which he deserved.
Sounds like a lot of work you did, Brian. Good job.
Technically, I didn't do loads of work, as in the pitch data. I didn't get it. It was given to me by Buck Buster. So a baller gave it to me by pure chance.
Yeah,
no. And he's losing his mind right now.
He gave it to you because you were putting the pressure on. He wouldn't have just... No one's randomly giving me pitch data, Brian. You know what I mean?
No, I put the spotlight on it. I did. I made a point of making a noise. I made it. That's really all I could do, because I was under the impression it was, because according to Wolfie and Trevor Austin, it would cost thousands. And it's like, well, I don't have that. And anyway, it was like I wanted them to get it, because they could probably get it for free.
Well,
being pilots.
Well, before you got here, I was actually alleviating the same guy, Buck Buster's conscience, and saying, look, because he's going nuts in the chat, and it's like, no, you don't need to feel in any way guilty. Yes, you did provide a shortcut to this data that was always publicly available, and I'm grateful that it provided you, specifically Brian, a shortcut to that. But we'd have got it eventually, so he doesn't need to feel guilty in that regard. And it's not his. That's Buck Buster, some random chat skank. It's not his pitch data, is it? It's the NTSB acquiring the black box data from a plane that had a troubled engine, and he knew where to look. Well, the fact that he knew where to look and didn't feel in any way like guilt-ridden or like he should keep this sacred because he's a globe believer? He's like, well, of course it'll affirm the globe. Nothing. Why would it do anything but affirm the globe? Because Earth's a globe. That's what he'd be thinking when he passed it on to Brian. And the fact that we've gone wicked. There you go. Earth's flat. There it is. There's the line. There's the angle with respect to horizontal. There's the pitch of the plane. There's no arguing with that anymore. We've got the NTSB data, where what we had previously was a black guy on a plane with a spirit level and a white guy on a plane with an accelerometer. That's what we had up until that point. Now, they're absolutely and perfectly legitimate in terms of measuring the pitch of the plane with respect to the journey, but it doesn't establish it with the reference on the graph and showing how Earth is flat in black and white from an official source that deals with life and death scenarios. That's the NTSB. Now we have. Thank you very much, Buster. We'd have got it eventually, though. That's what I was telling him in the pre-show, Brian. He shouldn't feel guilty, should he?
No, he's probably getting it in the neck off of people on his side, right? But what's he getting in the neck for? He's probably getting a hard line, but what's he getting it for? For being
Giving
honest.
it us?
Being honest. Just being honest.
Yeah, being honest.
That's don't feel bad about being honest.
Are we saying that the Glober that provided you, Brian, with the pitch data, he feels bad because why? Because we're using this to debunk the globe?
Yeah, he's
Does
not
he feel
happy.
bad about that? He's not happy.
No, because he actually was the one who's. Sorry, Chocolate. He's the one who sent me to Bob the Science Guy's video on attitude indicators that Bob brought out there in the past few days or whatever, and that you reviewed yesterday, Nathan. And he said to me, "You just won't be able to respond to this." And I looked at it, and it was the exact thing that my response video to the responses to the flight presentation.
Oh, it's great. He gave us that too. Oh, Buck, thank you.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That was a great response video. That was marvellous. I turned Bob claiming that we should have some sphericity involved in the pitch data he didn't even show. Yeah, I turned that into him calling ill of the dead and the investigations that NTSB do. Should be but isn't, curving around but isn't, flat earthers say it should curve round. It's disgusting, really. Oh, yeah, thanks, Sodbuster. I didn't know that came from you too. Awesome.
Well, what's interesting is Adam's data, the very argument that Bob will be making, there's no need for pitch data. Adam's data shows, and the lift effect, but we just use Adam's data. Adam's data shows that it's not, that what he's claiming is not happening. It's just not. All the vectors of down are parallel. They're not divergent. That's the point of Adam's data. So people who watched the flight presentation, let's say like Buck Sodbuster, because he did watch it, he obviously didn't take in what's going on with Adam's data, because Adam's data is showing that thing is not happening. Then it's proven to not happen by the pitch data. Do you know what I mean? They were attacking the pitch data, but forgetting everything that came prior to the pitch data ever turning up, like lift effect, Adam's data, QE's points concerning drop. Do you know what I mean? All these things, you can't ignore all those things and just come up with some nonsense that has already been, because that's all that Bob has come up with, basically, at Wolfie. Now, remember, it's Bob's video, not Wolfie's video. Why has Wolfie not directly made a video that I'm aware of addressing the pitch data? Bob has done it, using some of Wolfie's material. You know, what did they come out with? The argument they came out with years ago. That was debunked years ago. Do you know what I mean? We don't even need the pitch data. That was debunked years ago. Technically, it's debunked by what the pendulous vanes do, right? It has nothing to do with the globe. And Adam's data, if they wanted to get nerdy and technical about it, Adam's data shows it's not happening. Do you know what I mean? It's just not happening. But their argument is something that just doesn't happen. They just need it to happen. And technically, Buck Sodbuster is a more successful flat earther than me, but he's not a flat earther, and that's the problem. He keeps on being successful in the wrong arena.
Adam's just sent me this video of his acquisition of the pitch data with his phone. I'll turn off the sound, Adam. No offense to you, but yeah, I'll leave it up on screen.
Oh, my ears.
Sorry. Well, just imagine jet engines next to you now. You got the vibe. You can't see it. It's just showing it slightly above the horizontal, right? Which is what it shows in the official data from the NTSB and what Daryl Marble showed with his spirit level. Thank you, Adam, for sending this. You let me know from chat.
It's about what it doesn't show. Every single thing that we produce from flight, like what Daryl Marble showed, that's not official, but it is real, right? Adam's data is not official, but it is real. It really happened. QE's argument is not official, but it is true. You know what I mean? The pitch or the lift effect, you know, that is real. You know, so everything we've been shown throughout the years, it all shows the same thing, that it's not a globe.
What was the degree? I should know this.
Sorry. No point is there a globe. Sorry.
I should know off the top of my head. I can see in what Adam's showing here at 2.5 degrees, right? What was the NTSB degree data? Was it about the same, 2.5 degrees, or was it more or less? What was it?
The average, if they're flying at cruising speed, they're always like, no matter what the plane is, it's always been mostly 2 and 3.5 degrees.
What was it on the pitch that between?
I think it was about 2 to 3.
2 to 3.
I'll have to look at it again. Yeah,
Which is exactly what Adam's got. Adam's got 2.5 on screen now. So okay, fine, cool.
Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, no one's going to argue with that. 2.5, 3.5. What's it 2.5 and 3.5 in reference to?
Degrees with respect to horizontal plane of reference.
Yeah, it's above horizontal. So it doesn't matter if it's only 0.5. The point is it's not below horizontal. That's all that matters, isn't it?
Right. Lest we forget, we are guests in politics. So was there anything queued up that people wanted to ask while you've got us here and we've got an audience? Was there any ballers that wanted to share their pain with us, perhaps? Any clarity sought from flat earthers that wanted to know something about an argument they've had or anything like that? Looking to you, Politics Discord server. No?
No, I think I've heard the same arguments about 365 million times now.
Yeah, same here. Life is good. Earth is measured flat. Okay, well, if that is the case, then I am going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Stream, straight on my camera, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
It's very close to 7/6 arc. It's just close to it. It's not exactly, it's close to it. And it's been added in that way over time. But it's still not, like Adam showed this already. See, this sum's already been covered. Adam already covered this. What you should be worried about is what's the last correction made in celestial navigation to the elevation angle. Ask him that next time you see him. What's the last correction made to the elevation angle? Celestial navigation.
The last correction made to the elevation angle. Yeah, I did say that. I said this has gone over many times. Just go to the old episodes.
What are you talking about?
They've gone over that.
Height of eye?
I promised Buck Sodbuster I'd ask Brian a question since he gave us the pitch data.
No, I had. What's the last correction to an elevation angle or something? Were you talking about height of eye just when I opened the mics back up?
Let me give the question again so you can answer it and it'll be on the show. You know, the after show, Brian. He says, how is the formula in the Nautical Almanac for dip correction derived? It is derived from the radius of the Earth. If anyone disagrees, just show me the derivation without using R.
Okay. The almanac's spherical based, like everything, like the maps and projections. The almanac's got a spherical bias also. Did you not know that?
Oh, he knows that.
But his question is suggestive that there's an inference of an R value that's being used. It's based on R, he says, right? Where'd you get that? Okay. The almanac uses R. Okay. Where'd you get R? Measured flat for R, isn't it, Neil? So we'll need R then. Oh, right. Well, if we're to so what he's saying is, at some point, the almanac infers sphericity. Yeah, it does, yeah. Shocking when the whole world's programmed into believing they're on a sphere that it would infer that at some point. Yes, that's right. Yeah, how does it infer it? With R. All right, so R's critical then. Shocking that we'd be asking for this for 10 years. Where do we get it then? Let's look at the measurements of R then. What are they, Neil?
Those would be flat Earth measurements.
So we're going to measure Earth flat then. Okay, that's the end of that then. All right, but the almanac says it's spherical. I could give a shit. We measure Earth flat.
Well, it's actually what he's referring to as 7/6R. And it's not. It's only close to 7/6R. So him claiming they use R is incorrect. That's him looking at Wolfie's maths, which aren't the maths within the almanac. Right? Sorry, 1 second, John. Ruhut's maths, which aren't the maths within the almanac. The last correction made to the elevation angle is sight reduction. And for sight reduction, the correction removes all claimed celestial refraction, right? Removes it completely and treats sea level, mean sea level, I should say, as the baseline of the right angle triangle. That means mean sea level has to be a horizontal. That's what tell him that's in the almanac.
What is sight reduction then? So what is sight reduction then?
What it is that after you've taken your elevation angles, it's a collection of data that's been collected over a long period of time. And what it is that you've taken an elevation angle at a particular time to a particular celestial body. And after you've done your dip correction and all the rest of it, you then at the end refer to the almanac and the sight reduction. And that tells you at what time, at the exact time that you took the angle to the celestial body, at that time from the position you think you're at, that will mean that the actual correct angle is maybe slightly different from that, because it's data collected over time, and it basically corrects your angle to as perfect as it can be. But to do that, to make those final corrections to the elevation angle, it removes all celestial refraction. So after all that nonsense, they take celestial refraction out, and mean sea level is presumed to be your horizontal baseline. That's the almanac that does that. So sight reduction removes all claimed ideas of curvature and claimed celestial refraction. Gone. And that's your final, and that will be your final angle that you will use. So it's about precision. So what sight reduction actually does is gives you the most precise elevation angle. But it has to pre-assume that sea level is your horizontal baseline.
Okay, I'm still not 100% clear. I'll ask again though. Thank you.
Well, you know...
Don't tell me again now. I listened. I promise.
Yeah. Okay, no, I'll leave you alone.
Go ahead, Refracted.
I'd like to hear the question again.
What does sight reduction do? Oh, do you mean the book Sodbuster question?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it.
Give me 1 second. I'll read it to you again.
Fine.
Are you ready? How is the formula in the Nautical Almanac for dip correction derived? It is derived from the radius of the Earth. If anyone disagrees, just show me the derivation without using R. That's his question.
No. The dip correction is derived from a derivation of eye level, where surface or sea level meets the sky.
No, he prefaced it with in the almanac. Like in the almanac it says different, and Brian's saying it's sight reduction in the almanac as opposed to just straight correction of an angle.
Yeah, well, the almanac's going to reference eye level and sea level.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yeah, of course. I'm still confused though, so I'm piping up possibly where I shouldn't. There's got to be a trap in there, right, Brian? What's the trap he's trying to get you on?
No, there is no trap. There is no trap. It's people like Ruhif, Nathan, who put out their own maths, right, and claimed that the almanac has R in it. Because someone will look at Ruhif's maths and then go to the almanac and pre-assume that it's the same thing. when it's not. Ruhif has added stuff in that's not in the almanac.
Oh, okay.
Ask Adam. Yeah, ask Adam, because Adam is the mathematician. Right? Adam took this apart already a couple of years ago. So it's just people looking at Rubik's math and believing that means aura is involved. It's not. What they try to do with 7/6 aura is get close to what the almanac shows.
All you're doing with R in that case is increasing the radius of your plane inside the celestial sphere based on your height. That's the only R you're messing with, depending upon your height above sea level. That's within the model, though. What the hell's that?
Hold on a second. Is this, when you say it's for sight reduction, are they taking, when you say it's with precision, is this where 10th showed us the origins of what is later to be called Earth curve maths, where they offer you some precision based on the behaviour with perspective of the horizon when measuring 4 elevation angles and having to perform dip correction? Has that then been turned into what you're calling sight reduction in the almanac, or am I just way off base here?
I'm not sure, because I can't reference what Tent was talking about. But what the whole point of sight reduction is, they need to remove claimed celestial refraction, and they need to make mean sea level the horizontal. So they need to use the horizontal. And the reason they need to use the horizontal is very simple, right? They have to. They can't move away from the elevation angle having the horizontal, number one. But number two is, once they have that final angle, they then move it in celestial navigation and astronomy, but they then move it to the equatorial plane of their globe at vernal equinox.
Yeah, like on screen.
Which extends that equatorial plane out past what will be a 3959 statute mile radius, out into this claimed celestial plane, and makes it stationary, and causes the celestial bodies above to move. So the very, very last thing that every celestial navigation elevation angle will experience, let's just say hypothetically, will be on a massive stationary plane. That's what. Yeah. So the ballers thinking that dip correction has some connection to R. It doesn't, right? It doesn't, right? But the point being is that it doesn't matter how right or wrong even that would be, because the finality is sight reduction and then vernal equinox, which means they're using a massive stationary plane. They're not using a ball at any point.
Yeah, but they have to. It's functionally got to be measured flat for these angles, as you say. But like on screen, right? Are you in the Hangout? Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Kind of like that, except for remove the globe.
Yeah. Just imagine the globe is just a protractor around you, right?
Yep.
You're gonna expand the radius of that plane, depending upon your height above sea level. That's how far you can see.
Yeah.
So when you get lower, you have a sight reduction.
Okay. I think it's starting to sink in. We will discuss this again. I love these little.
Hey, Nathan.
Yes, Neil.
He's actually a funny guy, because he said, how did two slugs like Nathan and Neil land such pretty wives? There must be some magic in this flat earth.
I don't know, because when I was younger, I dedicated my life to finding a beautiful woman to father children with. What the kind of question's that? That's mentioned flat, by the way. Thank you very much, Politics Discord server, for having us. Right, you're awesome. We had to ditch Runtail through internal politics last time, our own internal politics, but this week, as always, you've been exceptional hosts. Thank you very much to all the moderation team in Politics for having us. You've been superstars.
Nathan apologises about that.
Brian also apologises for that. So are we welcome back next week? Hopefully the answer is yes.
Yeah, no problem.
Brilliant. Well, we shall bid you farewell, Politics server. Thank you very much again for having us. See you next week.
No worries. Thank you.
How is the sight reduction table derived, and choke his ass out?
Well, I don't understand these things fully. I know these terms, but, you know, getting a bit of detail on them makes all the difference.
Ask Tent about it, Nathan, and Tent will go through it with you.
He has.
Good to know.
No,
Hold
he
on a
has.
second.
He
He's asking
absolutely
for the
has
radio.
multiple times. We're probably on
Again, then
4 or
he will
5.
do it with you again.
Yes, I will.
Wait, but
Next
Brian,
time
isn't it over when he's saying from the radius? Because we get the radius from a flat Earth, don't we?
Yeah,
so
that's what
isn't
just-
it over there?
Yes, that's what I literally went through with you literally 3 minutes ago, Neil. That's correct. But what we're talking about
Nathan,
now is
we've been going through with this guy for days now. We've been telling him you derive the radius from a flat Earth, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah. But it's interesting to know what they're calling site reduction and asserting that the almanac has some sort of sphericity through an R value when dealing with dip correction. That was the question that you were asked, right?
Yeah, but we know how it was derived. And from that derivation of eye level versus surface level, as you raise in altitude, they formed a relationship of things, of how far you could see, right?
Well,
And
how
that's
far you could
mapped
see the horizon.
underneath. Yeah. They developed that relationship where if you map it beneath the surface level, and you're showing a multivariate plane that keeps on expanding as you go up. But that horizon point becomes the mark of the outside edge of the sphere that they think they're on. It's just a lot of flat planes. It's flat planes all the way down for them.
Yeah.
No kidding.
But now I can kind of start drawing these connections. So originally, if you're gonna ascribe this with some semblance of precision when you're out measuring altitude angles or elevation angles to the stars for navigation purposes, then how does it involve itself practically to assert that you've got sphericity or globe Earth involved? Well, these, if this is terminologically correct, I'll worry about it later. If you're incorporating the site reduction, then what you're doing is getting better accuracy based on your elevation from the surface level, where the horizon will appear to you if you're using it to reference horizontal in the first instance for this angle measurement. Now, not only do you need to know how high you are above it, but with this formula, you can say where the horizon will appear to you. Now, where the horizon will appear to you is actually 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, to keep it nice and simple. You can apply that formula when measuring the horizon and doing dip correction for your elevation angle measurement for navigation. Right, there you go. There's a nice, concise summary. Glober steps in and goes, when you do the correction at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, that's based on a sphere Earth radius value. No fucking end. But that's what they're doing, and I just want to know how the trick works. Now I do, I think. I'll get clarity later. I wouldn't be so bold as to have this conversation on a live show because I'm not 100% sure. But 10th Man has gone through it with me several times. Brian and yourself have obviously gone through it with me several times. And, you know, the cogs are starting to... I can see the way the cogs work now, I think. But 2 or 3 more times, and I'll probably be able to put this to an audience.
Well, I've argued it with 10th for like a year, just about. It was like the one point I thought I had him on, you know?
No, go on, explain.
Well, I was challenging the validity of the information, right? Knew it wasn't a sphere because the horizon didn't obey geometry. But here's this formula that helps you determine your eye level using the horizon. You know, like that suggests geometry, right?
Yeah, and you can see in the 1700s how useful that would be, right? It adds a precision that Brian's discussing earlier, is what I'm saying. He's gone now, but that's the precision Brian's talking about, isn't he?
Yeah, but the you know, their R-based refraction, That's the R they're using, that multivariate plane. They're not using they've never used a sphere, ever. It's completely non sequitur to the conversation to even bring it in.
That is weird now you say it. So when I take apart the derivation of their R based on a flat plane, that also means that when they apply it, they're not actually applying it spherically either. They're misconstruing what the application of that R actually is. Their R is actually derived from a multivariant plane, as you've just described it. So when you reapply the same R, well, you're not applying a sphere R, but they thought they were. That's interesting. I'd never thought of it in that way, John.
Yeah, that's why, when everybody brought up refraction, I was like, that ain't going to do you no good. That R in there is the problem.
Then you go through all that to derive that R. Only to, when someone asks you to prove the R, you put the R in an equation, change the R to prove the R you just tried to prove.
Yeah, at 7/6 of itself. Yes, chocolate is what you're driving at. Correct.
But what is that R in that formula describing? It's not describing an inflating Earth. It's describing an ability to either see further or less based on conditions in the air.
Right, and they got that formula from observing what the horizon does as they raise in elevation. They have the need for that.
All of their studies had to be done on a flat plane, right?
For refraction. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to suggest that it's in any way applicable when you're deriving elevation angles, then it's not with respect to the studies of refraction anymore, is it? It's only useful in terms of how they originally derived the inference now used and called Earth curve for saying, well, where's the horizon going to be? Well, depending on how high I go, you get what you've just described, the multivariant plane. But that's also simultaneously where you can derive an R from. That's what the Al-Biruni dip would be, right? That's the same exact process, taking eye level versus surface level. Well, that means that when you've then got that R, Al-Biruni's R, let's call it, it's not a spherical R in reality, is it? It's a R derived from a multivariant plane. So it isn't a spherical R at all. That's the real magic trick, isn't it? Saying that an R that's derived from a multivariant plane is a spherical R when it ends.
And the way they do that is within the diagram, right? The celestial sphere model diagram. That's actually a diagram and not a model. That's a mouthful to say. So many disclaimers. Anyway, they don't show. All they show is that surface level and the equatorial plane, right, are parallel. They don't show all the other lines of measurements they got from elevation to get that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they had to map those points out.
Yes, indeedy. It is fascinating to think about and reflect upon, because all we're doing now is saying it's the how, isn't it? It's not the why, which is normally what people are most interested in. Why would they lie? In this case, it's how did they lie? How did they do it? And it is interesting mathematically.
Well, the how is important because it shows that the why may be non sequitur. If it's not a lie, if it's just a misinterpretation of mathematics.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And it's your bad. You thought that R was actually a spherical R as opposed to the derivation of a multivariant plane when assessing surface level from height. That would be eye level. Oh, right, well, that's your bad. I didn't do that to you. You did that, didn't you? You misinterpreted this. Not me. I mean, it was laid out for you to misinterpret.
They didn't misinterpret it. They were taught it like that. You know? That's because They don't know it. They've just been indoctrinated with it. It's part of their education.
A fairly populated Discord stream now in Flat Earth Debate Discord. Hello, the newly populated Discord server.
Hello.
You all follow me from politics, to take it.
You were breaking up on my end.
Did you all follow along from? Were you originally in politics? Everyone, because this room was empty and I joined, and then now there's a good half a dozen or dozen people here.
Yep, I came from politics, but I'm usually here. Yeah.
That's cool.
They follow you like angels, Nathan.
Well, hopefully you
That
guys
would
will
be
challenge
hell's
yourselves.
angles.
My noisy little sods have just arrived back home. So
Flatsoid is debating Will Duffy on Modern Day Debates this evening. Have you got any advice for him?
Don't make it a debate.
Stick to measurements.
That's not really helpful, is it? He's debating someone. Don't make it a
Well,
debate.
it's like it's not a debate. It's like you said.
someone furnishing with
I
Hitch
would
data.
demand, yeah, I would demand a valid point of contention for the debate. First thing during the debate. Hey, what is our valid point of contention? And don't let them give you some, oh, is the Earth a sphere or flat? That's not even a true dichotomy. You know?
False dilemma.
And a valid point of contention within the subject we're in has to be measurement. So they need to get out their spherical measurements quick.
Did you say spherical measurements, which they don't have?
Yes, I did, Neil. That's the only thing they should be allowed to do at this point. If it was any other subject, you wouldn't be allowed to bring. If you were having a debate on the geometry of a chair, you wouldn't be able to bring in a story from Athens, Greece, as proof that your chair is a ball. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's just measurement.
Yeah, I'm tackling.
You would if everyone believes the story.
He's got a point there.
Flatsoid's
That's the problem.
objective is not only to win, but it's to slap that smug grin off that twat's face.
Right. The first thing I'll have to do, though, is change the default position in the minds of the audience. That's where measured flat comes in. It needs to be firmly established it's measured flat, and then the onus of proof is on the other individual.
Yeah, we're rewriting their story.
Do you think just saying that's going to change the default of the audience? I don't know, man. I've said that to people straight in my face, and they just look at me like, "What?" They give me that 1,000-yard stare, like, "What?"
Yeah, but and you got to break it down.
No shit. But they still hit you with the, huh? What?
Listen, the
Surely
indoctrination
Flatsoid's...
is deep.
Sorry, Neil.
No, I was just saying the indoctrination is deep. We all know that.
Well, Flatsoid is surely our closest ally on modern day debates. I can't think of anybody else who's a closer ally than Flatsoid. I know there's been a bit of tension for reasons unknown to me over the last few years, but he still asks for Nathan to critique his debates from time to time. Are you still in contact with him, Nathan?
That's what it used to be on this panel, man.
Correct.
All right, maybe I didn't hear what's going on with him. You all right?
Nah, he was running that Jamie C level thing, and Nathan asked him to stop, and they had a little tension there. I don't know if it's resolved, but that was the only thing. It was all with that whole thing with Alwyn.
Even if there is still tension about that, he's still a panel member. You know, he just may have been led astray. Like Anthony's still a panel member. You know.
Yeah, bro. Flatoid's out there pushing it, right? I've been in his places, chatting them up, super chatting them, talking to his dudes that he's talking to. It's not a bad venue for expansion if you haven't reached some of the people he's reached. It's worth a couple minutes, sure.
Absolutely, I'll be by there. Could somebody plug it properly?
Yeah, I don't want any of the tension to be there. I think it should be over and move forward together.
Yes, but that's not how it's going to work. We're going to have to draw out. And AI's right. You need to share the good arguments.
Well, the issue isn't us sharing the good arguments, it's whether the people who so-called represent us are actually going to use them effectively. And as Flat's always our closest ally, well, the burden is on him to actually make a good performance, make a good showing, use the arguments that are used here, or will he go freestyle like the rest of them?
Well, it's not even arguments.
That's a fair point, too. But a lot of people develop their own arguments as well. So the problem is that you can't just myopically say that whatever's here is what everyone should do because other people are doing other things. So if you critiquing them based on what you do here, the only way for that to cross promote and get into their venue, if you're so inclined, is to show up there and make good arguments, right?
Yep.
As long as they're not talking about ice walls and ether and all that other nonsense, we're good.
Of course they will, Neil. That's like
Bro,
the
let
global.
people talk about what they want to talk about, man.
If you want that, they're representing. If you want to have them represent you and they say they do, then that's fine. Not me.
It's an unwilling representation, and Neil, but it's still representation. Would you rather your voice be heard, or would you rather be shoved into a corner in silence?
I don't want my voice being heard and tied into any of that nonsense. So you can do what you want.
And if it needs to be corrected while in my face and it has to be dealt with, then it will be dealt with. Shit, ain't no worries about that.
Look, we can't stop anybody from talking about what they want to talk about. That's correct, Joe. You're right. But if it comes across this table, it gets dealt with like always. I don't understand. Nothing's changed.
No, I'm not saying you're. Yes, if they come into our house, right, we'll deal with it. But there's also those people who are interested in sharing this with a wider world. Don't you agree?
If I didn't agree, why would I be showing up every single day for years?
Right. Well, what is the point of doing a magic trick in an enclosed room if you want everybody to see this new magic trick?
You call it enclosed. I share the show every day to multiple platforms. I share the show.
Right. So if I said something like, "Hey guys, there's a really big thing happening with cross-coordinated platforms because of flat Earth being mentioned on a very big podcast. Show up, critique bad arguments, give the good arguments, and offer invitations back to the forums that you promote." Would there be anything wrong with that? Such a statement?
You could do whatever you want. Yeah. I won't be doing that, but you could do that. That's fine.
All right, that's a reasonable enough position, Neil. I respect that position.
AI, I don't even do it on Nathan's. I don't. When he says go tell them that we're reviewing his video, I don't do that. But I do share the shows on multiple platforms, X, Facebook. I share all the time.
Yeah, good. That's good. So we agree.
Yeah, that other thing is just not me. Going into the videos and leaving comments, that's just not me. I don't do that. Other people do that. That's it. Fine.
Yeah, and that's why calls to action are always what people can do, are willing to do, right, and feel like they'd be a good worth of their time because of their talents. Like like you said, some people can't do text debates, so they won't do that. Some people can't do voice debates, they won't do that. Some people, their entire contribution is just a super chat and support venues that they like. Everyone does their little piece and to make the machine move, right? And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but as the machine moves, the tires don't tell the engine to stop rotating the way it's rotating and do something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be called
Did I
putting up a
hear?
break.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't normally make note of the kiddie sounds in the background. Did I something about the elf? We just had a little moment with the elf. Was that what I heard? Correct? I'm just not
About
admitting
an elf?
About elves, yeah. Well, I only mention it because literally about 25 minutes ago. Yes, John? Go on, John.
My daughter is going crazy about getting an elf on a shelf because she wants Santa to see how good she's being.
Right, the elves keep an eye and report back to Santa. Well, she can't hear what I'm saying, can she? You're on headphones, right?
No, she can hear you.
Well, then you might not want to have her in earshot. I'll just keep it to myself for now.
I'm totally anti-elf on the shelf. That's not Christmas to me.
Is it because they're taller than you, Neil?
No. I'm taller than them. I got them by a few inches.
Damn.
What's wrong? Hey, what's wrong with midgets? What's wrong with midgets? Are we midget shaming around here?
I am not a midget. I am not a midget. I am 5'6".
I think that's allowed when you're at the bottom of the pile, aren't you?
I got a question for you.
Right.
I'm the shortest.
I'm really tall. So whenever I'm in a store, short people ask me to get something off the top shelf, and they think it's perfectly okay. So is it like also perfectly okay for me to just find a midget and be like, "Hey, bro, can you get me that off the bottom shelf?"
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, I don't do that. I get a stick and I make sure I get it from the top shelf. But sometimes taller people see my struggle and come and help me. And I say, thank you, you son of a bee, for being so damn tall.
I quite like being
to
short.
get on their shoulders.
That reminds me of a clip from a Scottish comedian. This guy's in a whatever you call it, clothes shop. And he turns to the guy. There's a customer in this shop turns to him and says, excuse me, how much are these in a size medium? And the guy turns back to him and says, I don't actually work here. And the guy turns back to him and says, that is not what I asked you. This is in Scotland, of course.
Back to height. Flatsy, yours don't count. You're a female. It's okay to be smaller.
We're all the same size, lying down.
I guess I get an exemption just for being female. I can be short.
Okie dokie.
Well, it's not frowned upon as much. Come on.
Yes, it's frowned upon slightly. I'm going to round out. With that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels. I'm sitting with a cup of coffee. Is it bad to appear on camera? I'm with a cup of coffee. Huge, massive, enormous thank you to Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.